How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. I gotta make this intro shorter. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Rabbits Dynamite, what's up? Good evening, brother. John McCarter, hello. MF Burt, SP, Just Jacob, El Jefe, Cold C, all the regulars. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing good. So yeah, we got bad news, and I'm wrong. I was wrong. I thought there's no way this Alex Jones, Sandy Hook ruling, this default judgment, the 1.4 billion he owes. I thought there was no way this would hold up in appeal. I thought eventually it would end up at at the Supreme Court, and common sense would prevail. But no, the Supreme Court just rejected Alex Jones' appeal. So I think he could still appeal the bankruptcy stuff. So there's still some changes that could be made, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Alex Jones, InfoWars, they're still on air. Not for long, though. The writing's on the wall. They will be taken over probably by The Onion or some crap like that. And it's just disappointing to me, man, because this is such a garbage case. It starts with the crazy fucking discovery part of the trial where, like, they asked for a crazy amount of shit. And even though Alex Jones turned over a mountain of evidence, it was just never going to be enough. It seemed like that was the setup right off the bat. Have a unrealistic expectation of discovery. Have situations where like, okay, for example, they want videos that were on YouTube or that were on Twitter. They want analytics showing how much money was made on YouTube, on X, on all the platforms. After he was banned, remember, from all these platforms, and had no access to any of that. YouTube, I remember hearing, I don't know if this is right, but, I think Alex's team did reach out to YouTube and X and all that, and to see if they would help them provide this stuff that was nuked. That was on his pages that was now gone, that he had no access to retrieve. And they didn't help him. And so yeah, now there's another email from 12 years ago, or what was it, 2019, 7 years ago. They wanted every fucking email, and I don't know. It seemed, if it was only that on the surface, right? If on the surface it was only like, hey, he didn't provide enough discovery, so we defaulted him. Okay, that's weird and suspicious. But then when you look at the entire case and how they're behaving, the fact that it's a $1.4 billion judgment, which is fucking unheard of, bro. Like, look at the Gawker Hulk Hogan case. That was what, like 140 million, and then I think they reduced it to 30 million. And then this one's a $1.4 billion situation? Like, what? All right, so then, you add that with the discovery, then the discovery part starts to seem a little more suspicious. Like, okay, default judgment like that is supposed to be like rare. And in my opinion, the judge should have fucking done everything they could to make it work so that Alex Jones could get a fair trial. But no, default judgment, can't even defend himself. $1.4 billion you owe. And then when they do the auction, they can't even fucking have a company that's coming in bidding the most. They don't win. The company that's bidding the most in the auction, they refuse to allow them to buy InfoWars, right? Because it wasn't about actually getting that 1.4 billion back. It was actually about shutting down a media company and shutting down Alex Jones's media company. I mean, they've even tried to take Alex Jones's handles. Like, if it was up to them, like at real Alex Jones on X, they would get that too, and Alex Jones would literally have no voice. So this is it's really fucked, man. It's really fucked. I was really hoping the Supreme Court would do something, but I should have known better. So it's not looking good for Alex, to be honest. Obviously, he's never going to be able to pay the 1.4 billion back. There's no I mean, even if they were to like really actually care about the money, because they clearly don't care about the money, right? Because if they cared about actually retrieving that 1.4 billion in damages, then what they would have done is they would have allowed a company, that was actually interested in making money to take over InfoWars and to keep the thing that makes InfoWars money, to keep that around, Alex Jones himself. Instead, what they want to do is they want to turn it into they want to get rid of Alex Jones, turn it into some parody website that makes fun of the actual user base that would generate money for InfoWars. So none of this makes any sense. It all seems like a political hit job. And what's sad now is this template is probably going to be used. I think it's being used on Mark Lindell now, the MyPillow guy. He's the next one they're doing this to. So this political warfare is going to ramp up now. And the Supreme Court just said, oh, yep, fine, we don't care. They didn't even give a reason why they rejected it, just rejected. So great, we'll hear from Alex here in a second. We'll see what he's got to say about it. It's, to me, it's disappointing. There's a lot of Alex Jones haters out there celebrating, but I don't think this is a moment to celebrate. I think this is pretty fucked up. But they're going to be all right. Alex is probably not going to ever have a lot of money. He's going to just live off of whatever the courts can't take. But he's still going to be, they're not going to take his, hopefully they don't take his Twitter handle and all that shit. But he'll still have a voice. He'll still be loud and he'll still fucking be generating clicks and views. But this is, it's I don't know, man. This country's fucked, bro. It really is. What's up, SP? Salute, Pink Trip. Just poured myself a funky alcohol beverage. Nice, SP. Great. Yeah, alcohol sounds good. Alex was the one that laced me up with all this game. Yeah, Alex is he's one of the first. He's not perfect. He's made mistakes, but that's life, man. At the end of the day, to me, you should be allowed to question things, and you should be allowed to hurt people's feelings when you question things. Because that's what this comes down to at the end of the day. Oh, he hurt the feelings of the family because he questioned events. And then there's he sent people to harass the family. It's like, come on, man. The whole internet was talking about this shit. Some crazy fucking schizophrenic person shows up at a grave or something, and now all of that's pinned on Alex Jones. Like, dude, maybe if it was like 1 million in damages or 10 million in damages, and you'd be like, okay, all right. 1.4 billion in damages. It's very clear. This is just a political hit job. Very clear. Very clear. Let's see what Alex has to say. Hello, everybody. Smash the thumbs up. We'll get Alex's opinion here in a second. Let me pull this up. Hope everybody's doing well. Smash the thumbs up if you want to become a member. Links are in the chat. And you can send super chats if you want to get your message heard and reacted to. All right, let's see what Alex has to say. Let's listen to this a little bit.
All right, so.
And then we're going to get into the shit that went down in Chicago today, which it's starting to look like a bit of an insurgency. The media reporting on this has been horrendous. It's just so much spin, so much bullshit. Like, oh, it's just a neighborhood just got angry. The local residents got angry at ICE. It's like, no, these are fucking mobs of protesters following ICE around. It's like now instead of like picking your spot to protest, what they're doing is tracking ICE in real time. And this is in my opinion, right? This is from what I'm seeing. This is what it looks like what's happening. You have like mobs of protesters, a lot of them illegals, who are tracking ICE's movement in real time. And whenever ICE shows up to do their job, that's the protesters are there like on the scene real quick, especially if ICE gets slowed down by these Mad Maxers. When I say Mad Maxers, I want you guys to know in the future what I'm referring to when I say Mad Maxers are these crazy fucking protesters who are basically harassing ICE on the job with their vehicles, right? I'm just going to refer to them as the Mad Maxers from now on, so you guys understand. Yeah, let's see what Alex has to say.
About an hour and a half ago, the Supreme Court of the United States, at the third hurdle, when the justices themselves looked at our appeal that's 100% cut and dry, bulletproof, just on its face, everything that was done to myself at InfoWars is kangaroo court, to an absurdist level. You think it was like dark comedy, like Dr. Strangelove or something. It's like the court scenes from Idiocracy. Just absolute insane fraud. And then everything that came out of it, and total proofs, the Justice Department funding it, running it all. And the Supreme Court, yeah, you know what? We're just going to let that stand, that judges can default you, find you liable, then have a show trial produced by HBO, and then demand billions of dollars that never existed. But that's okay, because in the court of public opinion, they have been completely convicted. Now, what happened to Mike Lindell recently, just in the last few weeks? Oh, same headline. Same headlines. Judge finds Mike Lindell guilty for billions. Judge finds him. Oh, because the judge just said it's obvious you're guilty. Not, oh, you didn't give us discovery. That's what they did with me and made that up. No, you're just guilty. Look at this. Judge rules Lindell defame voting machine company.
It's so nasty, dude. It's so nasty to just default judgment somebody. It should be so fucking rare. It should be in cases where, like, okay, let's say I want all of your emails for the last 20 years. First of all, like, when you give ridiculous, like, if you asked me, like, imagine if I was banned from YouTube and then the judge was like, we want every YouTube video for the last 10 years. And it's like, I'm banned from YouTube. I can't access those videos. And then you ask YouTube and YouTube's like, sorry, we can't help you. So now I'm just automatically guilty because I don't have access to this shit. This is essentially what happened to Alex. Okay. And then they spin it like, oh, he's purposely avoiding us and blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, it's an easy way to just get a default guilty, and you don't even have to, the guy can't even fucking, you know, you're not even allowed to give your case of like, well, actually, this is my free speech. And actually, I didn't, you know, you're just done for. That's it. You're guilty. That's so fucked up, dude. And now, same thing to Mike Lindell. Okay, this is a blueprint they're going to follow, and the Supreme Court holds it up. Then we're fucked, because all you need is a judge who doesn't fucking want to be fair and just is interested in their political hit job. Because there's a lot of corrupt judges out there.
Audio stream super chatted $9.99. When you say you will and then you don't stream at night, it's a letdown.
I'm
really
sorry.
Enjoy the show. Unrelated, but check out Wes Huff and Michael Heiser. I think they do a good job of explaining things.
Yeah, I mean, you got to trust my judgment when I don't do a show, Hypnodio. Sometimes there's a reason for that. It's either I'm just not feeling it and I don't want to do a bad show. There's nothing I'm interested in talking about. Or sometimes I just legitimately have shit to do. And last night was one of those nights. I just legitimately had too much shit to do where I couldn't put together a show. I wouldn't have things to talk about that I'm interested in. I'd just be sitting here going, what's up, chat? How everybody doing good? But I get it, man. I need to be more regular with it. You know, I need to do more episodes where I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to do a show anyway. I need to do that more because it hurts my channel when I don't do shows. I noticed that. Like if I do 2 or 3 shows in a row, they start growing. And then the second I take a day off, the show I come back to is like, it's dead. I was like, damn, I guess I got to go 7 days a week. But I do typically do 4 days a week. I try my best. So hopefully, you know, that's enough for you. But I'll try to be more often. I'll try to come on more. And I will try not to say I will do a show tomorrow. I got to stop doing that because I have the intent. When I say it, I have the intention of doing the show. And then the next day, it's just like, oh, fuck, it just doesn't work out. So that's one thing I got to stop doing. But I do intend most of the time on doing a show at 9. When I say that, it's just, you know, life gets in the way. But thank you, brother. Thank you for the 10. Let's get back to Alex.
Isn't that interesting? Judge rules Mike Lindell defame voting machine company for $1.5 billion. Well. And then the judge says you're guilty for $1.5 billion, and the jury goes, $1.5 billion. Where have I seen that before? I know someone that did the same thing to. And then it wasn't enough for the literal thoroughbred ambulance chasers. They said to their puppet judge, we want 2.67 trillion.
I remember that. I remember they tried to fucking make it a like they were like, how high can we go? How high can we go? I mean, there's no limit, dude. It's like you just showed what was going on by doing that. You showed there was no justice in mind there. The idea of justice and proper compensation to the families, that's not what it was about. It was just about destroying this man.
The GDP of India, the most populous country in the world.
I don't know. I mean, our system is being abused. You know, the courts are great. Like, they should, in theory, like help us uphold the law and decide on the law. But it's like when you have a bunch of politically corrupt judges, what do we do then? And they just get in the way every step of the way. And then they start politically prosecuting people. And then now Trump can't. I mean, you literally have federal forces under attack in Chicago. And, there's going to be a judge that's going to get in the way every step of the way. At a certain point, do you just ignore him? And then, Trump's a dictator. Trump's a dictator. It's like the only power they have left. And they're using it, man.
We sued them. We deposed them. I spent millions deposing them all, getting all their emails, top law firms. And then the Justice Department gets the information, and Ed Martin goes after him and says, preserve your records. I want to talk to you. And then Todd Blanche comes in and says, I'll fire you, Ed Martin. Shut this son of a bitch down right now.
Yeah, the DOJ, it looked like they were going to investigate this, and then, nothing like usual.
Ed Martin needs to be the Deputy Attorney General. And he didn't say that. Okay, I have other DOJ sources that tell me what goes on, but this is the reality.
And could they do that? I mean, because in the end, I don't think you should use government to make your friends rich or give them special favors. But if you can't deliver justice to people who are on your side, you're not doing it right. And
this was a great episode, too, if you haven't watched it yet. It was from a couple days ago.
It's really dispiriting and a little weird.
But I got really upset right for the show because I had a lot of distractions, a lot of things going on, just a lot happening. And there was something in my mind. And I was like, why am I so angry right now? It wasn't about this ruling that I knew was coming. I told my lawyers, they said there's no way if it actually gets in front of them, they won't take it because it's just all cut and dry. I didn't even say the things they said. Then we had the actual quotes versus what the judges would say I said and put in the record as real. I mean, we just dynamite proof of total fraud. I said, no, they will not do it because it's political. And I got up this morning, slept in a little bit later, so I didn't get home about midnight, slept in about 7 a.m., got up and said, the Supreme Court will rule against me today. Went and got a cup of coffee. And about 2 hours later, bloop, exactly what I thought happened, bloop, with no comment, because how could they comment on rejecting it? Because it made it to their desk, 3 levels. Most stuff is just rejected by the low-level clerks, and then the lawyers, and then the Supreme Court either takes it or doesn't take it, or they can table it, so they're going to look at it later. But no, they, obviously already know what's in it. We printed very professional, books with the pleadings in an actual book, with it all there, with all the exhibits and everything else, and they just said, nope. And this is where you get real weaponization in the courts with default judgments. And they did it a few weeks ago to Mike Lindell, who joins us at the bottom of the hour. And then I get up here to the office and, hey, the Supreme Court says, yeah, the lower courts can just default anybody they want. Judges are now king. They can just find you guilty, have a show trial and tell a jury that you've got all this money and not even show any evidence of it. And then make it non-dischargeable so that you could never even pay it back. So you can be hunted because they don't want money because they already raised $300 million off my name saying I'm persecuting them, literally, and their charities, and $74 million from Remington. And I mean, just, their poor dead children are just giant ATMs for the anti-gun lobby and now anti-free speech lobby. They're literally trees that grow money. They're very sad how they farm those dead children that Adam Lanza killed, but nobody knows Adam Lanza's name. They know mine. It's all just PR. Did absolutely nothing to these people. Doesn't matter. And in the court of public opinion, the public knows the truth. So all this lawfare, all this stuff they're doing, and then now Obama's talking about lawfare and the dangers of Trump and the vicious weaponization of the Justice Department.
Became a member.
The Joe Scream still makes me laugh every now and then. Thank you, Hypnaudio Stream.
The Justice Department is like a toothless tiger or something. It's been defanged. It's been declawed. And basically, I mean, it can kind of gum you to death, maybe break a leg or something.
Yeah, but what could the DOJ do at this point? I would think the Supreme Court would be the last chance. Like, can the DOJ somehow go in there and override a civil case? I don't know. I got to look that up. I don't know if the DOJ can do anything.
The Justice Department is a...
I mean, I guess they could investigate to see if there's any funny business.
$1.99. If they can't bankrupt you, they lend you.
Yeah. I mean, this is clearly again, they're using this against Mike Lindell. I mean, this essentially sets a precedent here that, hey, you can't question events. If you're a lefty, you can question things from a lefty perspective, you'll be fine. But as a conservative, if you fucking start questioning events, yeah, you want to end up like Alex Jones, you want to end up like Mike Lindell.
Ruling.
And to me, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, right? It doesn't matter if it's uncomfortable. It doesn't matter if it pisses people off. Like, you should be able to question an event. Yeah, obviously, you shouldn't call for harm to anybody. You shouldn't disparage anybody. Like, there are legitimate reasons for people to get sued, if they take it too far. But if I'm like going, hey, this event happened in the news yesterday, and it's just sort of fishy, and I don't know, and there's reports that these people, they might have been actors, and then, you start questioning, which Alex Jones did. I don't know if Alex Jones was ever like, they're for sure 100%. With the way Alex Jones is, like, every day he can change his mind. One day he says something, and then the next day he's like, well, I don't know. He takes it back. So I don't know. This just, to me, it just seems like so fucked up, dude. It seems really fucked up. But people who just, they hate Alex because he's on the other side of the aisle, they're not going to care. They're going to cheer this.
Toothless tiger. And man, if it just had a couple teeth, it could do some real damage to the globalists. But globalists are like giant swarms of flesh-eating locusts or schools of demonic piranhas that have been given a large dose of PCP and methamphetamine. I have Mike Lindell on because he just got defaulted by a judge for $1.5 billion. And of course, Mike's never had anywhere near $50 million in the bank himself. But now the judge will say to a jury, where you're guilty, they'll put on all this fake stuff. It's how they run it. They'll probably have HBO or somebody there producing it. They'll make a doc.
I'm guessing the DOJ could do something. I'm trying to figure out. We'll see what AI says. They could gather evidence and interviews, assess violations and referrals, outcome and remedies. I don't know, man. I'm not a legal expert, but it seems like it's pretty fucking cooked at this point. But yeah, why not? Let the DOJ investigate how this all came together. Because this case seems like a fucking corruption of justice to me, dude. From the very beginning. Just the idea of not even being able to defend yourself because, I couldn't provide this email from 12 years ago. Like, that's going to make it impossible for you to try your case on me because some email from fucking, I gave you 10,000 emails, not the 15,000 I requested. I need all the videos from every platform you've ever posted on about Sandy Hook, even though I'm banned from all these platforms and I have no access to those. It just seems fucking crooked. And then you add the 1.4 billion on top of it, the ridiculously, almost like funny. It's so ridiculous. 1.4 billion. It's almost comedic. That level of fucking damages being awarded. It just seems so fucking suspicious on the surface, man. It really does. I hope Alex gets through it. I don't know. It sure seems like they've been able to hold off this fucking takeover, but it sure seems like it's just a matter of time at this point before InfoWars is being run by the Onion or whatever the fuck they're going to do with it. And then we're going to have the Alex Jones Network, and that's going to be Alex's new thing. We'll listen to a little more. Let's see what he says.
And it'll all be deception and lies, and that's what they do. And then they'll close the factories in Minnesota and throw the 1,000 employees out on the street. Because the judge ruled, even though that Mike doesn't own his company, it's a corporation foundation, that, we're also going to hold your other company, MyPillow. Not just Mike Lindell, the man. We're going to hold all your companies liable, and we're going to shut them down because we want to put Americans on the street. That's their mission. It's always their mission. So, but I've already seen some of the newscasts. Jones found guilty for attacking the
1.5 billion because you questioned the Dominion voting system, the Dominion voting machines. Wow. Don't question elections, guys. Trust the electronic voting machines that can be hacked in like 10 minutes by any fuckhead with the USB drive. No problem, guys. No problem. Don't question it. You're going to owe 1.5 billion. We just need to go to paper ballots. We need to get all these electronic machines, Dominion, all of them, out of the fucking process. Right, just go right back to simple ass paper ballots, dude. The fuck.
Families of dead children. No, there's 20 families, only 5 sued. They're the ones that run the foundations and raise all the money. Most parents don't go around, doing that. Decades later, breaking in hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I do agree. Mike, you said Mike never came with the proof. I always thought it was kind of like not the right way to go. I always felt like the focus when it comes to the 2020 election should have been on the mail-in ballots, the changes to the electoral process, without proper legislation process to pass it. They just decreed it. There was a lot of fishy shit, but then a lot of the people that went down the Dominion the voting machines, blah, 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 blah. I mean, there might have been something there. I don't know. But to me, there was so much other shit that was more obvious and more provable that would have affected the election, dude. But yeah, it's hard to prove stolen elections.
And huge salaries like these NGOs do, the Democrats control. And they go, the families. You mean the Democrats, the NGOs, the not-for-profits. With Bloomberg financing the Onion to then misrepresent who we are, trying to get our name. That's the best part about when they censor you, is they then go around and pretend to be you. That's what the Onion's doing now. They're going around defaming Charlie Kirk, putting out fake quotes of him. And others do this to him, too. He said stone all the gays and said no such thing. Said black women are dumb. Never said anything like that. It's totally not true. It doesn't matter, though. They just say it. Man, if you say it enough, there's still dumb people will still believe it. Not only did I never pee on any kids' graves, nobody did. We asked them, even in the show trial, they let us ask questions. So who came to your house? Who did the thing to the grave? I don't know. I heard it from somebody. Well, who told you? I don't know.
I heard it was some crazy. I remember this story like very, very. I don't remember it very well, but I remember something about some crazy fucking homeless lady or some lady with some mental health fucking problem, and they were just like, yeah, she was told to do it by Alex Jones or something.
Anybody at InfoWars ever say your name? Nope. You ever talk about you? Nope. First time I ever heard of most of these people was when they sued me. I don't know who they are. Never said their name, never saw them. But see, it doesn't matter because they can play victim and the FBI agent, the hero. What does that even mean? Never even knew who he was. But he got a phone call once to see if he was a real person by a local reporter. And so because of that 1.5 billion or whatever, and 130 million for him, it's absurdist. But by the way, if you're a new viewer and you don't believe me, just type into the search engine. Alex Jones, it's 2.76 trillion. I'm sorry. You'll have the Bloomberg headline. Sandy Hook family.
I remember this because this is right around when I interviewed Alex the first time. And that was what we were thinking. We were thinking it was going to end up being over $1 trillion that he was going to owe. I guess that got a little too crazy. 1.4 billion is fucking crazy. I mean, you realize how much money 1.4 billion is, right? Like even $100 million settlement, people would have been like, Jesus Christ, that's so fucking huge. 1.4 billion, it's off the charts ridiculous. It's laughable at face value, man.
Seek 2.75 trillion from Alex Jones. and again, you'll see the headline, 965 million. They upped it to 1.4 something, and then the appeals court knocked off 300 million, but by then it had gotten 400 million in interest. And people wonder why I laugh about it. And then they, with a straight face, are like, we're finally about to get our money when we close InfoWars. Oh, you mean $300,000, $400,000 of equipment? This studio's the newest. These cameras are 5 years old. They were like $3,000 or $4,000 new. If you couldn't get $500 for each one of them.
Yeah, the best way, if they really wanted to get money, would be to just take over InfoWars. They now own InfoWars, and you keep it operating. Simple as that. They would have got like 3.5 million for the sale of InfoWars, and then just from that point, any money on top of like what it cost to run InfoWars, you collect. And that's the best route to actually, recoup your damages and get paid. But they don't give a fuck about that. They just want to shut down this guy's voice.
This desk, couple $1,000. Well, maybe this clipboard will get you something. But they play this. He's hiding the money. We're finally going to get it. You'll have a headline. They got his Ford Expedition. AP headline. They had it 2 years ago. Woo, a headline. We got a truck. An 8-year-old truck. Oh, my God, the luxury. Oh, my gosh, just bathing in diamonds and gold and rubies all off the dead children. I made all this money off of them. Barely even talked about these people. The internet didn't believe it happened.
Hey, Hitch, I agree with you. He says it's not about making Alex pay anything. It's about stopping people in the future. That headline subconsciously silences thousands of potential people who would have got the urge to speak up. I agree. It is. It's about, silencing people, making people scared to speak their minds. If you see something and you go, this doesn't add up, this doesn't seem right, and then you want to make a video about it, yeah, this is going to make a lot of people think twice, man. And now you got Mike Lindell.
I covered the phenomenon of people not believing it. People think Charlie Kirk didn't die. Are they going to get $1.5 billion?
Yeah, Ian Carroll's the next. Ian Carroll, you're gonna owe $1.5 billion to Charlie Kirk's family. I mean, yeah, they could do the same fucking thing to all these people questioning Charlie Kirk. They could literally do the same thing.
Hell, next, I mean, it's wild. It's totally wild. But here's the message. You better not question official narratives. Well, good luck, because no one believes anything that the establishment says anymore, even when it's true.
Yeah, this was back when Alex was pretty big. Big ol' Alex. I miss that Alex, kind of. Fat Jolly Alex, man.
It's all about torturing me. It's all about harassing me. It's all about harassing my family. It's all about getting me off the air. And that's why all I ask you to do is to keep us on the air. When they come very soon, they got the receiver, was already here last week, and shut these doors. It's okay. Because we'll have the Alex Jones Network that I don't own. I'll be on the same syndicated radio stations, show, bigger, better studio getting built, already have a backup. And I'll just be the news director, and they'll harass me forever, and that's fine. Because this is about perseverance. And it's about dismantling their globalist system, which we're doing. And so if I've got to go through some pain here on the front lines to do this, all I ask is that you support this operation with your prayer, your word of mouth, and financially.
And I heard, the Alex Jones store is owned by his father. And they actually used Alex Jones' own money to sue his father to try to get control of the Alex Jones store. Well, doesn't look like they're going to get a hold of that. So, yeah, I wish the best of luck to Alex. I think this is fucked. I really do. I think this is, it's terrible, man. We got corrupt courts. We got fucking woke judges who are not interested in justice. It's just political, man. It's political warfare. And it's kind of scary where that's going to lead. All right, so in Chicago today, it got really crazy again. Like I said earlier, my theory as to what's going on here, we know there are people following ICE around. And I think, it's not hard this day and age to have a group chat and in real time track ICE and reach a ton of people and be like, hey, ICE is right here. And what I think happened is ICE got harassed. I think maybe it was an illegal that they had to do the T maneuver, the pit maneuver. Or maybe it was, they were definitely illegals, or maybe they were like harassing them, doing the Mad Max thing of getting their car in the way, et cetera, et cetera. And in real time, they know what ICE is doing, and then a crowd of protesters show up. And then they pretend that this crowd of protesters is all locals. This is all just the neighborhood came out to show down with ICE. It's like, no, these are fucking protesters who aren't even from this neighborhood, dude. And they're just, this is ramping up to scary levels, where it's like mobs of almost like insurgents are just ready to go at ICE wherever they are. When Anyway, let's hear the left wing spin on this first. This is WGN News.
As word spread of federal agents in the neighborhood, it came to a head. Some residents came out to confront them.
And that led to objects being thrown and tear gas being deployed. WGN's Andrea Medina joining us now with that part of the story. Sounds like chaos, Andrea.
Yeah, Micah and Ray, and the area is quiet now, but hours ago it was filled with emotion and anger. Community members say that they came out immediately to defend their community and to also send a message to.
So yeah, these are fucking, the lies are like the little details that they manipulate. Community members come out to defend their community. No, you mean mobs of illegals that are fucking harassing ICE and following them in their vehicles and tracking their every moment and then trying to get their group of protesters to show up in the neighborhoods that ICE is doing their operations? That, you mean that?
Federal agents that they will not be intimidated. Surveillance video from a neighbor's home captured the moment a federal chase spilled into the streets of Chicago's East Side neighborhood, ending in a crash near
Spocko super chatted $1.99.
Possible.
They probably have someone inside DHS.
It's possible that there's an insider like that's leaking their operations ahead of time. That's very possible. But it's also probably not very difficult when you have a bunch of jobless fucking losers who just want to commit themselves, and then you have all these group chats where they can share. I spotted on this spot, and then you got people that start telling them and start trying to block them, and then when they successfully block them or they catch ICE doing an operation where they're in one spot long enough that they can move in their little crowd of protesters and confront ICE, it's not that hard, especially with the level of real time communication we have between people now. But yeah, it's also very possible there's somebody on the inside leaking.
105th Street and Avenue N late Tuesday morning.
So what I don't know is, okay, well, we got it in a second, but the people in this car, one of them was an illegal, or they were both illegal, and one of them was had an issue was set to be deported. So I don't know if they were chasing this car because they were trying to deport one of these people, or if this was a Mad Maxer who just was blocking ICE nonstop and getting in their way, and ICE had no choice, because it's pretty nice of ICE. They'll give you a warning and they'll be like, stop telling us or we're going to arrest you. I mean, maybe it was one of those situations where the guy refused to back down. But yeah, this is how it all kicks off.
What started as a pursuit quickly escalated into a tense and emotional scene.
I'm not going to sit here and not do nothing about him.
Yeah, see how they cut right to some stupid, dumb chick who knows nothing about fucking life. I'm not going to sit here and just do nothing. Rather than, why don't you cut to the fucking crowd of protesters throwing rocks at the fucking ICE people? Why don't you cut to that? We're gonna get the full story, but I want to start with the propaganda.
Within minutes, Skycam 9 was overhead, showing a large crowd surrounding federal agents, shouting questions.
Yeah, it was all just locals, guys. That was just all. There's like 6 houses there. Okay, maybe at most there would be 15 people if they were locals, and they'd probably be just watching from inside their house. These are protesters who are ready to show up anywhere they can fucking corner ICE so they can have a scene, right? This is the new strategy. The protest follows ICE. Okay, that's what this is. And they're lying to you and saying these are all just locals. These are all just locals that were just angry because ICE is deporting their neighbors. The propaganda is off the fucking charts, dude.
Questions, recording with their phones and demanding answers about what had happened. Video from the Citizen app also shows a tense standoff between federal agents and community members.
Community members, yeah, you're a communist.
According to CPD, officers and supervisors responded to the area just after 11 a.m. when they realized federal authorities.
Yeah, they came out with their fucking giant Mexican flag. They just happened. This guy was just in his house with his posters and the giant Mexican flag and professional cameraman, and they all just came out of their house. You just happened to do this on a block filled with a bunch of protesters who were all ready to protest. Come on, man. It's very obvious to me. I can't prove it, but my eyes will tell me what I think's going on here. And in my opinion, these people, it's a moving protest. They're trying to block in ICE. They're trying to fucking corner ICE with their Mad Maxers. And then, they got quick fucking communication. ICE is here. Come now. And boom, next thing you know, you got a giant fucking crowd of protesters harassing ICE. This is not just locals sitting in their house and they just came out to go, oh, what's going on in my neighborhood? It's so fucking disingenuous. And people are going to fall for that bullshit too. Trust me, they'll fall for it.
Were involved. Police say they attempted to de-escalate tensions, but objects were thrown at the agents, prompting the deployment of tear gas.
As the tear gases were thrown toward the community members, we all ran and they had attacked two people that
The community members, communists.
I know.
When people start saying the community members of the community, you're communist.
Because they were the closest near them, so they had
You mean the people that don't live in that neighborhood who are stalking ICE and acting like fucking insurgents, who a lot of them are illegal? Those people?
attacked them and
The
put them into
community
custody.
members.
Destiny, who requested to keep our identity hidden, says the people who were detained are U.S. citizens ages 16 and 19 and that they did not throw anything.
No, they did. We have video. We have video of like one of them being arrested and people being like, oh, he just threw something. That you don't have to do that. All he did was throw something at you. And then when that 16-year-old kid who fucked around and found out who threw a rock at ICE or an egg at ICE or whatever it was, probably both. I think they were throwing rocks and eggs. And then they get arrested. Oh, and our poor 16-year-old community member who's just an innocent boy who did nothing wrong, and now he's a citizen. And yeah, it doesn't matter if he's a citizen if he's fucking attacking federal officers, dude. It's such horseshit. This spin is such horseshit. WGN, you should be ashamed of yourself.
I got a phone call from work saying that they took my son. He's only 16.
I wonder. Yeah, it's a wonderful mom. I'm sure she didn't grow up in a gang. I'm sure she didn't live that gang lifestyle and raise her kid in that same fucking stupid, retarded shit. I hate women with tattoos.
Juanita Garnica,
I love women, but I hate women with tattoos.
visibly shaken, saying
I don't hate them all. Some of them are good.
through tears as she had been at work when she got the news that Border Patrol agents had taken her son.
They just told me, Juanita, you have an emergency. ICE took your son. They beat him up. They body slammed him, and they took your son.
Yeah, they just kidnapped him. They beat him up. They body slammed him. It wasn't because he was throwing projectiles at ICE and part of a fucking organized mob that was threatening ICE. But right now, that's no, they just beat him up and threw him to the ground and arrested him for no reason whatsoever.
City officials and immigration attorneys
What's up, Rabbit? Thank you, brother.
That Rabbit's Dynamite super chatted $10. I wonder why these stations never have a statement from DHS. Such great journalism.
They usually do, but it's really quick and it's near the end.
arrived in the aftermath of the incident
Thank you
and
for the
say
time,
the
brother.
response by federal agents was excessive.
The judges made it very clear last.
No. You guys are supposed to just sit there and get stoned by this mob of fucking illegals, these mob of insurgents. Hey, the community decided we're going to stone you, so just sit there and be stoned, okay? Just take it. Don't defend yourself. Don't use tear gas to disperse the mob of fucking crazy people. No, just take our rocks to your face, okay?
Week that this kind of conduct is unacceptable.
There's absolutely no reason to have
These community, the local community leaders in Chicago, the politicians, they are fucking 100% to blame for this.
this kind of chaos happening in our communities, putting people at risk, putting people in harm's way.
According to DHS, agents chased the vehicle and used a pit maneuver to stop it. They say 2 people inside.
Are you saying Katie Davenport has a tramp stamp, Colt C? Is that the Katie you're talking about? Look, you know I like Katie, but if I saw her tramp stamp, my opinion of her would drop by like 50%. I'm telling you, man. Maybe I'm too harsh, but like I see a beautiful chick and then all of a sudden I see a tattoo on her and it's like, ugh, she's probably got AIDS. She's probably got all kinds of STDs. Her pussy probably stinks really bad. My opinion just goes way down. She probably lived on the streets. She probably was addicted to crack. She probably was like a gang chick going out fucking robbing houses with her boyfriend when she was a kid. My opinion goes way, way down. When I don't care how cute you are. If I see some nasty fucking tattoo, it better be like a little bunny tattoo on your fucking ankle. That's about the only thing. A little cute little bunny, okay? I start seeing like that black fucking tattoo shit that you see on gang members, like, yeah, your pussy stinks. I guarantee it.
Tried to run, but were eventually caught and taken into custody. DHS says in part, quote, this incident is not isolated and reflects a growing and dangerous trend of illegal aliens violently resisting arrests and agitators and criminals ramming cars into our law enforcement officers.
You know this journalist chick? This was probably the hardest statement she's ever had to read in her life. They're like, no, you have to include it. Do I have to include it? Fuck these people. No, you got to include it. Just a real quick little blurb, and then we'll go back to our propaganda.
Now, CPD says that 13 officers were also exposed to the tear gas. While DHS did say that the 2 undocumented people involved in the crash were arrested, they did not say where they were.
Zipliner. So easy to make judgments. Yes, Zipliner, it is. And be prepared for more. I got more judgments where that's coming from.
Being held, or
I can judge all day, baby.
If
all
and
day.
how many people were also detained. We are live in the East Side. Andrea Medina, WGN News.
Andrea, more about the Chicago police officers. We saw them there. As you said, they were affected by the tear gas. You said they also tried to de-escalate the area. What were they doing? Did they intercede with the others or what?
So my photographer and I actually got there a little bit after all that unfolded, but we did have another photographer that was here beforehand, and he had mentioned that the CPD officers and the supervisors were just kind of there in kind of set up a line in between the federal agents and the protesters, just to be able to de-escalate those tensions.
And that's when the protesters, the lovely community, started throwing projectiles at Chicago police and ICE. They're just the community, guys. They're just beautiful members of the community who don't like seeing their community under attack. Yeah, okay, sure. You mean they're fucking basically acting like insurgents? 'Cause that's what it looks like to me. They're acting like an insurgency. Okay, and this shit needs to be fucking put down quick. Because if it escalates, it's gonna get nasty. It's gonna be hard to enforce law on the streets when you have mobs that know, hey, we run things. There's more of us than there are of them. And if we just decide, we don't want policing on the streets, we can actually fucking, but once you start kicking some heads in, this shit's going to stop.
It's just to make sure that everyone.
You got to start arresting people. And maybe you don't have to kick heads in, but, rhetorically kicking heads in. This shit does need to stop, though.
Was safe as well, that they were out there.
All right, Andrea, thanks.
As words.
Okay, so let's actually look at some of the footage from here. Let's see some of this beautiful community. By the way, these are the 2 that were in the vehicle that got T-boned. You got, both of them are illegals. Okay, they're here illegally. You got Luis Gerardo Pirara Ramirez, Venezuelan illegal alien, ordered deported from the U.S. by a DOJ immigration judge in August 2024. Okay, and then you got Yonder Enrique Tenefe Perez, a Venezuelan illegal alien on the right. A beautiful woman, by the way. If you can't tell, that is a woman. Let's get a full screen on this, guys. That is a beautiful young woman right there, okay? Okay? I'm told both aliens are male. Oh, sorry, actually, it's a man. Oops. I'm sorry. I fell for it, guys. I thought this was a young, beautiful woman. I had no idea that was a man. Photos below, senior DHS source. Okay, so you understand who was driving that vehicle. Now let's watch some more reporting from here. This is ABC.
Neighbors and some witnesses that were on the scene.
It was so safe that the ABC News reporter had to flee the scene because of the rocks that were being thrown.
And describe to us what initially...
Judy, wait 1 second. Okay. I see Chicago police.
Yeah, this is just the neighborhood, guys. This is just... There's like 6 houses on that area. Like, you're telling me hundreds of people live in these 6 fucking houses? No, dude. This is a fucking coordinated, very highly organized mob of protesters that are trying to follow ICE around and have like sporadic protests that like shut down ICE wherever ICE is trying to do their job.
Are arriving and putting themselves in the middle of the situation right now. It appears there might be someone in command from what I can see.
Yeah. Oh, they just showed up with their giant Mexican flags. I even saw like a professional fucking like a news guy in the crowd. Now, I mean, maybe it was the news, the news could have showed up because this was going on for a while. But this is coordinated, obviously. This is not just, oh, the neighborhood just got so upset that they came out of their houses. That's such bullshit, dude.
Approaching the area. I'm not sure if this is in an attempt to start dispersing the crowds. But we have just in the last few seconds seen Chicago police who had remained at bay now starting to put themselves in the middle of the, oh God.
See, then you start seeing the projectiles being thrown.
Protesters are starting to throw rocks. We're going to get away from the scene right now, Judy.
Okay, Michelle, you take care of yourself. I'm going to let her.
This needs to be the story, right? This is the story that they skip over every time. ICE gets assaulted by a mob throwing projectiles at them on the streets of Chicago. That's the story. That's the story. Instead, the story is, oh, this brave community is standing up to evil ICE, blah, blah, blah. Because none of these people believe in our borders. None of these people believe in our country's right to exist. They're all a bunch of fucking commies. And they just want to see the system destroyed. That's what they want. They have no loyalty to this country.
Get off the phone. We really appreciate it. Get to a safe place. So what you're watching, what you continue to watch is exactly what Michelle has been doing.
It was so safe. Poor little Michelle had to flee the fucking scene from the fucking rocks the sweet community was throwing at her.
Describing this again at the intersection 105th and Avenue N. Last Michelle said as protesters started throwing rocks, and you can see that there is some chemical being deployed right there at this intersection. Just prior to this, you did see what appeared to be Chicago police officers and some commanders there trying to have some type of a dialogue.
They had no respect for the Chicago police. You could tell. The Chicago police turned up and were like, calm down, and they just got more rowdy. Wow.
With the protesters there at the intersection, it would seem that they were trying to disperse the crowd and maybe usher them off the street so that the agents could possibly move their vehicles. And it was at that point that Michelle noticed that protesters started throwing rocks, and this is the end result. Earlier, we had heard that there were...
How dare you use tear gas? Don't you know the court said you're not supposed to use tear gas unless you give 2 warnings? Okay, so they're just supposed to sit there while they're getting pelted by fucking projectiles, by rocks. They're getting stoned. Guys, here's the first warning for No, at that point, you're getting stoned tear gas. Fucking dumbass courts, dude.
Pepper balls being sprayed into the crowd because someone had thrown eggs, or some neighbors had thrown something at the agents. And now reports of rocks being...
See, neighbors. This is not somebody that just lives here. This is a crowd of protesters that are fucking tracking ICE's movements and trying to disrupt ICE. Okay? And ICE got, unfortunately, because they had to T-bone that car, they had to pit maneuver that car, ICE had to hang around and protect this vehicle before it got towed away. So they had ample time to be like, ICE is here on this corner, fucking send it out there to your group chats. Next thing you know, that mob is there right in ICE's face. This is not the fucking neighborhood, dude. Okay? Stop with the bullshit.
Thrown. And that was coming from Michelle, a reporter right there on the ground. She has now gotten off the phone with us. They're trying to get to a safer place, of course, but we can continue to watch this picture. Fortunately, with Chopper 7 up in the air, we can still continue to monitor what...
And you can see, like, there are other videos where you see, like, there's, like, one person, like, right out their front door recording. And it's like, yeah, that person probably lives there. There's probably, like, 6 actual locals in this entire fucking crowd.
What's happening here. Again, if you are just joining us here on stream, this situation...
We got some more footage of this beautiful situation. These beautiful neighbors and community here. This is one after they chase him here. Let me get it in the right order here. Let me see. Here's one of you could see ICE getting hit. See, boom, he gets hit in the head with an egg. This is when they start throwing fucking projectiles, and eggs were a part of those projectiles. Beautiful, yeah, what a wonderful community. What a wonderful community. It's funny, it's just an egg. Well, it's not funny when some of the things being thrown are fucking rocks, dude. Okay? Rocks can really fuck you up. Here's another angle of it.
A cloud of tear gas enveloped residents and Chicago police officers just after 12:35 this afternoon.
See how they started with a cloud of tear gas envelops officers. No, why don't you say a fucking barrage of projectiles was thrown? I mean, like, again, it's all the little details and how you present the little details.
The culmination of a tense 2-hour standoff between dozens of immigration enforcement agents and people in the neighborhood.
Yeah, this is just people in the neighborhood, guys. That's all it is. Just people in the neighborhood who are just very upset with Trump's Gestapo kidnapping people.
The impasse began shortly after Border Patrol agents riding in this white Expedition crashed into a red SUV. Surveillance video shows they had been chasing the red vehicle in circles around the neighborhood for around 30 minutes before the accident happened. So
literally evading law enforcement, not I mean, look, if an officer is pulling you over, you got to pull over. That's just the way it is, right? Now, what I don't know, I'd like to know is, was this a Mad Maxer who I said enough is enough and we're going to go after you now? Or was this somebody that was targeted for deportation, who they were going after?
The corner of Avenue N and 105th Street.
So I went outside and I just see like all of ice on the floor, like with the guy. Then everybody just started coming out.
Uber driver Eliseo Uribe was driving home when he tells us in Spanish, "The white SUV nearly hit me. I thought they were fighting, but I never imagined they were ICE." A Homeland Security statement today saying they were chasing the driver of the red SUV after he rammed them first, adding that once the vehicle was stopped, the suspect...
Okay, so the guy in the red vehicle rammed him first. So yeah, it sounds like more Mad Max shit. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a couple of Mad Maxers going around, stalking ICE, blocking them with their vehicles, and in some cases, ramming them.
Who are both illegal aliens attempted to flee on foot as Border Patrol.
And yeah, it's not surprising they're illegal aliens. I think a lot of these people are going to end up, we're going to find out, are illegals. Like, at this point, what do they have to lose? They refuse to self-deport. Now they're going to act like fucking insurgents in our country, dude.
Arrested the subjects and attempted to secure the scene. A crowd began to form.
Crazy. So I had some of these out of order. Ground view of local terrorists in Southeast Chicago. This is a great account, by the way. Kim Katie USA. She gets these videos like nonstop of ICE deporting people, etc. Yeah, these are just locals. These are just people that are just at home on a busy day when most people are at work, and they're all just at home. And they all just came out of their houses because, dude, it's so clear what's going on here. These are not locals, dude. I mean, maybe they're local in the sense that, like, they're from Chicago. She said bomba. That means bomb.
Ay, fucking asshole. Me lo agarraron. Oh, shit.
Again, somebody with their dog out there. Dude, put your dog in the fucking house, please.
Le agarraron a aquel.
Oh, that's a pretty Doberman.
And you guys allowing this? Instead of taking them out of here, y'all allowing this? That's just fucking crazy.
I'm glad I don't live in Chicago, dude. What a shithole. What a shithole. You think Texas police would let this shit happen? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Fucking pussies!
Rusty Shackelford super
What's up, Rusty?
chatted $5. Since when do Democrat work or have jobs and contribute to society?
I mean, you know, I thought some of them did, but apparently none of them do. This is their new job. Their new job is just following ICE around all day and protesting. I don't know, man. I guess they're getting, you know, in a city like Chicago, they're probably getting some government money or something, dude. I mean, this is one reason why the black community is like pretty much on our side. The majority of the black community, because they're like, why are these benefits going to all these illegals and we're not getting any of the benefits, you know? I don't know. It sure seems like they're getting a lot of benefits from the city. I've heard, I mean, I got to look it up again, but I've heard like they would get like debit cards just filled with cash. Insane.
1% check.
So yeah, let's see. Here's a, find this other one here. Here's one where it's like who they go after. Shows the aftermath.
Look at these bitch ass niggas. Look at this shit.
at this shit. Look at this shit. Oh, they violent. They smacked their ass. They smacked their ass.
See, I think look at that. Let's start this over. All right, you see the projectile flying in? Let's see what that was. That's a rock. Yeah, that looks like a rock. That doesn't look like a smooth round egg. So they get rocks thrown at them. And then they charge after the fucking dumb kid who threw the rock at him.
Look at these bitch ass niggas. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Oh, they violent. They smacked their ass. They smacked their ass.
And then you got people actually running into ice, shoving ice. I mean, these people are getting ballsy as fuck. And when you have a crowd this big, that is dangerous, bro. This is going to lead to, at some point, they're going to use deadly force. If you have a crowd this big and you got people that are willing to attack ICE, at some point, they're going to use deadly force. It's inevitable if they keep behaving this way. See, now here we go. He's a child. Yeah, well, he's a 16-year-old, not a child, who just threw a rock at a federal officer. So I think he needs to learn a lesson. Your boy, who obviously you didn't raise properly. If you had raised him properly, probably wouldn't have to worry about anything. But obviously you raised a shitty kid who thinks it's all right to throw rocks at police officers. And now it's time for society to try to set your kid straight. It's sad, ain't it? So sad.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Let's go, bitch. Let's go.
See, the guy recording this, he's feeling real tough, ain't he? He's feeling real tough. You hear him talking, it's like he's hyped. He's ready to go. He's ready to go fight ICE. He's ready to go. I mean, ICE is outnumbered, but yeah, good luck with that, bro. Good luck.
They throwing shit. I better watch out. Fuck the police. Look at him. Yes, sir. I better watch out. Fuck the police. Look at this bitch. Fuck guys. Look at this bitch doing that shit. Watch out, man. Oh, hey. Hey, fuck you too.
Everybody real tough until they start breathing in that tear gas, dude. That shit's nasty. Yeah, motherfucker, what Yeah, that works real well. Everybody's so tough until that tear gas hits their fucking lungs, bro. Yep. Well, what a beautiful crowd. What a beautiful community that, if probably nobody was there to stop them, they would probably lynch these, they would lynch ICE. They probably would. Like, if they had their way, this is a mad dog crowd, bro. But yeah, these are the good guys, guys. These are the good guys, right? These are the good guys. The crazy people who want to invade our country and don't believe in our right to have border laws and actually enforce our border laws. Yeah, you're the good guys. You're the guys that believe in America, right? You're definitely not fucking anti-America and just hate this country and want to see us fucking burn, right? Oh, but we're a country of immigrants. Not anymore. Get the fuck out. Goodbye. Goodbye. Go home. Go home. Yeah, here's some more from when they're arresting the kid. Here's some more tear gas for you. See, like, this is protest tactics. If you guys recognize this, These are protesters using protest tactics. This is not just neighbors coming out and being like, what are you guys doing in my neighborhood? That is such a lie, dude.
Zatoy Keys
What's up, Zato?
Sword. Super chatted $5. This is all thanks to Dora the Explorer.
Ah, that
and
bitch.
Nihao Kailan.
That fucking Dora Explorer, what a dumb bitch. I don't know. I know the name Dora Explorer, but I didn't have kids at that time who watched it. So, was Dora the Explorer very pro immigration? I mean, I'm pro immigration too. Just come legally. That's all. Come in legally. It's not a big ask. Not a big ask. All these fucking illegals, dude. If you were to invade their little village in Guatemala, if all of a sudden their little village of like 500 people in Guatemala where they live, if like 10,000 Americans were to show up and take over their village, I'm sure they'd be totally fine with it, right? Right? Like Mexico is right now, having protests in the streets because there's too many Americans with money coming in and gentrifying the area. Oh, it's fine. Mexico can have their protests because they don't want fucking Americans in Mexico, but oh, we can't have a border and be like, hey, if you want to come into the country, just fill out the proper paperwork and get permission first. Don't swim across the fucking Rio Grande and smuggle your ass into our country. Don't do that. No, we're such bad guys. We're Nazis, guys. Basically, we're Nazis because we want to have a border. Fuck, man. I didn't know I was a Nazi. I guess I am. So, I guess border law equals Nazi equals, damn, what a tough pill to swallow, guys. I thought I just, wanted a safe country and common sense fucking laws, but apparently I'm a Nazi according to the usual suspects.
Herman, get back!
I think we're gonna need a bigger army, guys.
Where is she at? I don't know.
Look at them getting in their cars to drive off. Yeah, because these are totally locals. They're all locals, guys. These are people that they were in the backyard playing catch with their kids. And then big bad ICE came into their neighborhood and started abducting people, and they rose up against ICE. Yeah, dude. That's exactly what happened. What's that? Well, let's see that again. Was that? Are they literally have a baby out there. This is all for fucking yeah. They're so good at their propaganda. They don't give a fuck about their kid, obviously. Right? Or maybe this was just a local that just happened to show up with their kid at the time this was happening. I don't know. But I'm very suspicious because we've seen it in Portland where they will take disabled people, take blind people, and they'll put them in the front so that when ICE starts shoving them back, you just shoved a blind person. He's blind. You're literally attacking a blind person. And then, you get your propaganda. It goes wild. Because that's the game. That's the game that's being played right now. It's a bad spot to have a baby, that's for sure. I wonder what their story is. I wonder what it is. I wonder if they just came home and were like, I know we got our baby in the car, but let's park in the middle of all this tear gas and take our baby out and take him inside, rather than, hey, let's keep driving and go to Uncle's house and wait for this tear gas to clear up. I don't know, man. I'm very suspicious of all this shit because there's so much propaganda. Oh yeah, we saw this one. The guy getting hit with the fucking egg in the face. We saw this one as well. Saw that one as well. What's this one? Oh, okay. This is interesting. Not surprising, though. Just in, DHS is currently fighting off bounties being placed on ICE agents' heads in Chicago amid massive encouragement of violence from Democrats. Not surprising, bro. I'm pretty sure we're going to find out there's a lot of cartel involvement with this shit.
As we approach it, breaking right now, as we just mentioned, narco terrorists in Mexico are reportedly working in coordination with domestic extremist groups to place bounties worth thousands of dollars on the heads of federal immigration officers in Chicago. That is according to DHS, who are now slamming what they are calling an organized campaign of terror against agents just trying to do their jobs. Trisha McLaughlin from DHS will join us with more on
if we start seeing DHS agents getting killed, ICE getting killed. I mean, we've already had attempts, right? But once there's a successful fucking situation where some ICE, officer fucking gets murdered on his job, it's gonna ramp everything up even more, dude. This shit seems like it's definitely ramping up. 2025's been insane. It really has. It's been an insane year. It's almost over. We're like coming down the final stretch of 2025. And I just wonder what 2026 is going to look like. If this is 2025 and it doesn't seem to be getting better, is 2026 going to calm down? I don't think so. Let's hope so. But apparently, as long as we want to actually enforce our border law and actually deport people who are here illegally, as long as we continue to do that, there's going to be a lot of angry people in the streets trying to start problems for everybody. So I guess we either give up our border law and we just say, guess what? Anybody can come into our country and we won't remove you. Or we got to deal with this shit. I think we could deal with it. We're going to need a lot more ICE agents, guys. We're going to need way more ICE agents. Way more. Let's check in on Carnival Cruise Lines. This is why I don't go on cruises, guys. This is why. The idea of being trapped on a boat, that's terrifying to me. I don't even want to be on a boat, okay? I went deep sea fishing one time. That's enough for me. I'm good. I don't need to be on a boat. And then the idea that I might just fucking end up on a boat with crazy fucking people and have no way to get out. No, thank you. Why are there so many videos like this? I mean, there's like, you could go on hundreds of videos like this. Look, I don't want to mention the ethnicity of the people in the video, but we can all see. There's just so many videos like this, whether it's McDonald's, whether it's on the train, the cruises. It's like, dude, can we just calm the fuck down? Can we please just calm down and take a deep breath? Apparently not. And it's always like one poor security guard attempting to calm down a fucking crowd of like rabid fucking insane people who are just like, I mean, they've just lost their minds. I don't want to say chimping out because that might be a little racist, but it's kind of like that. I'm sorry. It reminds me of like a troop of chimps or whatever they're called when they all start going crazy and they're all screaming, and just like, you see that when you see chimp behavior, and it's like, that's why people call it chimping out, but I don't agree with that term. I think calling it chimping out, I think that's a little racist. Yeah, I know it resembles what happens when chimps chimp out, but guys, don't use that kind of language, okay? I don't think that's appropriate. These are human beings who are just, having a bad day. They're victims. They're victims of an oppressive system. And you can't blame them, guys. It's the system's fault. So guys, book your next Carnival cruise. Do it now. Go for the peaceful, beautiful scenery, the cheap drinks and food, and most of all, the wonderful company. Carnival Cruise, guys. You won't catch me there, but you should definitely go on a Carnival Cruise. It'll be a blast.
Spocko super chatted $1.99. Maybe they think Lincoln's sending them back.
I think Lincoln thought about that, right? That was like one of the things. You know, Lincoln was kind of a racist. You know, he wanted to send him to like to a whole different. I forgot what it was, but I remember reading something about that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, dude. Obviously, a lot of it is just a lack of like being raised right. It really is. It's what it is. They're not raised right. They're raised by emotional, angry people, and they pass that shit on. And it's just like, you know, I don't know, man. Get control of yourself. Control your emotions. Now, people say this doesn't happen. I've been saying this for a while. Like, if you're here illegally, the best thing to do is to actually go down to the ICE facility and talk to them and see if you can figure out a way to make this work. And you know what? They might cut you some slack because at least you're not trying to hide from them. You're not running from them. I mean, you could also deport yourself. But this is from my hometown. Here's a chick from, I think, Honduras. Let's see what happened to her.
¿Cómo le fui hoy? ¿Cómo le fui hoy? No escucha ella. Ella trabaja para Trump. ¿Te dieron extensión?
Sí, ya, todo bien.
¿Cuántos años más?
Para un año y medio.
I think it might be because she's a big booty Latina. And I think they are making exceptions for big booty Latinas. But she was here illegally. She's here illegally, and she got her 1.5 years renewal. It's like, look, okay, I know a lot of people disagree. She's here illegally. Get rid of her. Yeah, I see that. You should probably get rid of her. But at the end of the day, the ones who are making an effort to get themselves in the system, who might actually have a legitimate fucking asylum claim, like, yeah, you have no choice. Go to ICE, talk to them, and see if they'll you know, cut you a break. Like, this lady can be here for another 1.5 years. And she's here illegally. I don't know. Warms my heart.
Un año mayo vino por CBP-1. Se entregó. ¿De qué país? Honduras. All right, gracias.
She's illegal. She surrendered to ICE, and they gave her a 1 point. So she was like sitting here going, oh, this is kind of fucked. I'm here illegal. Let me go surrender to ICE and see what happens. And they gave her an extension. They gave her time to figure things out because she did the right thing. But oh, it's so hard, ain't it, guys, to do the right thing?
I
mean, she also probably could have took $1,000 and just went back home, with a free trip too, you know?
Do not get in my way, lady.
This guy's been down here filming, and these fucking white chicks are just like harassing him all the time. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. But yeah, you know, if you're a thick Latina, you don't even have to be that good looking. Just be okay looking. You know, we'll cut you some slack. You can stay for another 1.5 years, right? But at least she's trying to do the right thing. This was in Portland the other night. And yeah, it got a little muddy. It got a little muddy. They literally had their own band out there. This is one of the band members. I guess ICE got tired of their fucking music. It wasn't bad though. It wasn't bad. The band was actually better than like the music they play on the speakers. Out there in the mud getting dirty. Looks like a good time, man. Oh, they got the flute player, dude. Was that the flute? I don't know why people resist. Like, at this point, you're not going to win resisting. I get it. They probably resist so that they can get ICE to be more physical, so that it can look worse on video or in a photo. But in reality, don't resist, dude. You're not gonna. What are you gonna achieve by resisting? Nothing. You're just probably gonna end up really sore, if not worse, dude. Ooh, get him in the mud. Throw him in the mud like a good little pig. Oh, look at that. It's always it's ICE that something's wrong with. It's not you fucking mentally insane people that there's something wrong with. It's ICE. This guy who's got a great job, probably got a family, takes care of himself, mentally sound. He's the one that has the problem. Okay. He's serving his fucking country. This guy is a hero, dude. Whoever he is, he's a hero.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you tackling a clarinet player? She did nothing to you. She did nothing to you. Let her go.
Look, maybe he doesn't like clarinet players, all right? I don't really like clarinet players either. You know, or maybe, you know, she's did something, didn't back up when they told him to. Oh, she plays clarinet. That means she doesn't have to listen to orders when they tell you to back up and get out of the way. They're ready to go. They're having a blast, dude. This is the best television you could watch, dude. This is so much better. Like, oh, God, I'm glad I'm in Portland. What else we got here? Yeah, more of the mud stuff. It's more of the mud.
Don't put your hand on his neck, bitch. What are you talking about? He didn't do anything. Do you feel like a big man? Coward. Fuck you. Coward. Yeah, you did. I watched it and I got it on fucking video, you fucking fascists. You guys are...
This looks like a lot of fun, dude. I just feel bad for the police officers because their uniform, you know, it's gonna need a wash. Like mud all over the uniform. That's not cool, dude. I have no sympathy for these people anymore at all, dude. I just have no sympathy because I know what they're about. They're all a bunch of liars. They're all a bunch of fucking bullshit artists, dude. And they don't believe in the country. They don't believe in our right to exist and our right to have borders. So fuck them. And they lie about everything 24/7. So I don't feel bad when I see them like face down in the mud with an ICE officer on top of them going, stop resisting, stop resisting. Yeah, I don't feel bad. I don't. Because you guys are full of shit. You really are. And you brought this on yourselves. You know, you did. You didn't just sit there on the sidewalk. If you just sat there on the sidewalks with your stupid fucking signs, you could protest and push your open borders fucking commie message all day long. But no, you want to block them from being able to leave their driveway. You want to get in front of the ICE facility and block their entrance and exit out. At that point, you're asking for this. This is what you want. You want ICE to have to come out and push you and shove you out of the way so you can have your footage of ICE being, abusive to the innocent protesters. So yeah, you're getting what you want. Congratulations. Don't cry when it happens. Don't cry when it happens. This is a video. I watched this a long time ago, and I was talking about the Shroud last time. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is a fucking fantastic video. This is Dr. John Campbell. You guys remember John Campbell from COVID? He did a good job. A lot of his videos were going around during COVID. Here, let me share this. And it's I'm telling you, man, I'm so fascinated with the Shroud of Turin right now. You guys want to watch this? We can watch this. We can watch a little bit of it. What do we got? About 30 minutes left? We'll watch a little bit. But yeah, but the link's in the description. This is the shit that makes me fascinated by the Shroud of Turin. Especially this video. This video got me fast. I always kind of was like fascinated by it, but once you start looking at like the science behind how it was created and like the fact that nobody could actually do that the same way, you know, like you can't recreate that in any way right now. Like nobody can recreate. I'd like to see somebody disprove it and be like, this is how it was created and create an exact replica of it. But nobody's able to do it. It's insane. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing in the chat? Portland parking lot mud is actually sold internationally for farming fertilization technology. Is that true? Is that true, MF Bird? Are you pulling my leg? Are you yanking my chain, bro? Are you yanking my chain? They want 3 pints of AJ's blood, and he only has 2 pints. It's more like they want 1 million pints. It's not even close, dude. The amount of blood they want from AJ compared to what he has. Yeah, let's watch it. I've been wondering. I thought about reacting to this to a while, but you know, we didn't have much else to talk about. That's about all we got. So it's like, maybe I'll react to this video. But I think this guy does a fantastic job explaining the Shroud and what is unique and what like the parts that are just like so hard to explain. Like, let's just listen to it. We'll give it a shot.
Hello, warm welcome to this talk. Now, something different today I want to think about. Something I've been thinking about for the past few months, and I kind of feel like I know so many of you now, even though, of course, I don't personally, but I just wanted to share my thinking on this. It's about the Shroud of Turin, which is...
This is a doctor, by the way. Hopefully a lot of you guys remember him from 2020 and shit, because he did a lot of good coverage on COVID.
A shroud in the Cathedral of Turin in Italy. And this is so fascinating, and I've been looking at it for a few months now. It's an overlap between science, pathology, medicine.
Hypnaudio stream super chatted $4.99. He is risen.
He is risen. Gotcha. That's what makes it so fascinating, because it does look like it's sort of proof of some sort of resurrection type situation, you know? I mean, it wasn't him ascending into heaven, but it was like him resurrecting from the dead. So I don't know. It's fascinating, man. I'm really fascinated by this.
All aspects of science with history. And it's the image of a crucified man. Let me just show you it here. This is from the shroud.com site. Now, this is one of the definitive sites on the shroud. In fact, probably the definitive site on the shroud. You can see that the cloth has been damaged. It was burnt in a fire. But we'll also see the image of this man of the shroud on it. It's about 14 feet long, this artifact. Now,
you guys that don't understand, like, this is his back and this is his head, right? So the shroud was like completely covering him front to back. So it's hard to see if you've never seen it before. But yeah, this is his head. That's his arms crossed, his legs, and then this is him side from the back, the part of the shroud that was covering his back.
It is,
and then all those weird little shapes are burn
fascinating. If you haven't got time to watch this video, I think the evidence for this being the actual burial shroud of Jesus Christ himself is quite convincing. But
there's no doubt it's supposed to be Jesus. The question is, like, is it really Jesus or is it an artist thing? There's no doubt that it's supposed to be depicting Jesus, whether it's really Jesus or it's just an artist.
Of course, I don't tell you what to think. You'll have to look at it for yourself. Why don't more people know about this? Well, John...
Oh, where did it go? Where did I lose it? Yeah, what I hate is the AI. I like the image, and they keep running it through these... They keep running it through this AI shit. I don't like that. But I like the original AI image. This is like they used AI to make an image of Jesus based on the shroud. And it's crazy when you look at it. You're like, that's Jesus. That's yeah. I think there's like multiple. The Middle Ages, I think they made Jesus look a little gay or whatever, a little effeminate. But like this is the early depictions of Jesus are like almost seems like they were using the shroud as their like as their way of knowing what Jesus looked like in order to make art of him. It's crazy. I mean, yeah. So that's the AI rendering of it. It's like, oh, that's looks like fucking Jesus to me. Anyway, we'll get back to it. Oop, did I fucking...
The shroud, and it's a photo...
I didn't pause it.
So now the bathwater. Yes, a lot of these relics, so-called, were just a part of a medieval racket. Of course, it was a making money thing, like selling indulgences. But there does seem to be some genuine relics as well, and the shroud seems to be one of those. Now, here's the picture that you actually see if you look at the shroud itself. This is taken from the 1978 exploration scientific investigation, and this is from the photographer Vernon Miller, available on shroudphotos.com. And this is what you actually see on the shroud, and it's a photo negative. So already, I think we can probably see the head, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the moustache, the beard, marks, blood stains. These are being confirmed to be human blood on various parts from what would be we would assume to be the crown of thorns, the scourge marks that are on many parts of the body. And this is what we actually see when you look at the shroud itself.
You know, someone says photographic film is made out of what? That's a good question. I kind of do want to start like learning about photography now from this, because I know so little about photography. But isn't it made on like magnetic tape, or is that videotape? I don't know. But yeah, it's essentially a photo negative. Yeah.
But it turns out that this is a photo negative on an original linen cloth. But the point is, linen is not a photosensitive material, and it's a negative. And of course, it's centuries before photography was developed. Photography only starts, I don't know, about 1830s or something like that. Way before that. And yet we have this photographic negative here on the shroud. Now, it wasn't known, of course, this was a negative until photography was developed. So when photography was developed, the first guy to photograph this as a positive was Seconde Pierre, French photographer, 1898. And he saw that this was, so he took a picture of the negative, and then it became a positive, and he was the first person to see it as a positive.
And I think this guy was like ridiculed because no one believed him. And then somebody like years later did it again and proved that actually he wasn't lying, but nobody believed this guy.
And you can see a lot more features in the positive light. So we have this mystery already of...
Dude, if it's a photo negative, is there any way to actually develop it into a real photo like you would? You know what I mean? I don't know, I guess because it's on this weird cloth or something. I don't know. I need to learn more about photography and how they develop photos and shit.
How do we get this photo negative image on a shroud centuries before photography was even thought about? And the image is on a non-photographic sensitive material. So already it becomes really quite intriguing as to what this artifact is and who the man on the shroud is. So that's that picture there. Now, if we look at again, if we compare this is why it gets really interesting. We compare this with ancient prophecies and ancient scriptures. So this is the prophecy of Isaiah. Just as there are many who were appalled at him, his appearance was disfigured beyond that of any human being. His form was marred beyond human likeness. So what we have to remember is this is a picture of death. The man on the shroud is dead. He's in rigor mortis and is badly beaten up. That's completely unequivocal. So much pathology attests to this, some of which we'll look at.
I have a theory. If this is real, and it sure seems like it's real, like this could be the thing that like God left for people who doubt it. Like, because for me, just reading it is not enough. Just being told it's true is not enough. But if you have actual evidence that can be proven to be actual evidence, the actual burial shroud of Jesus Christ, and it captures his fucking a photo negative of him the moment he resurrects, maybe this is the one thing God's like, I got to leave something for the non-believers 2,000 years from now. It's crazy, man.
So this is an image in death is perhaps the key thing to remember, but it is consistent with ancient writings. Now, not only is there an image on the shroud, the image is actually codes, three-dimensional information. Now, in other words, the grayscale on the image contains three-dimensional information. Now, if you take a picture of yourself and put it under what's called a 3D image analyzer, it'll just be a complete mess. But when you do that with a shroud, it comes to life. And this was first done again in 1978. Now, this was done using what's called a VP8 image analyzer. It takes the original one took 8 scales of grey and transformed that into three-dimensional information. Now, this was actually developed by NASA and NASA-associated scientists to look at planets, to work out what craters went down and what hills went up, to give three-dimensional topographical information from astronomical photographs. But when they put the shroud image under that, quite a bright idea to do that, quite incredibly, it was seen to have three-dimensional information, and you get this face emerging, the face of the dead man of the shroud here emerging. And likewise, all parts of the body have this three-dimensional data on it. And again, quite unique. So there's things here which are completely unique. The image on a non-photographic material, the linen cloth, that actually encodes three-dimensional information. So the intrigue only grows as we learn more about it. But let's go on. That's the three-dimensional coded information. There's another one there, another one generated. I think that's generated by a more recent image generator, but that three-dimensional information is all encoded in the grayscale of the original image. It's all encoded there. So the information in
I don't know, Jesus looks kind of Jewy. I don't think Nicholas Fuentes is going to like this version of Jesus, dude.
in that picture there,
Actually, I don't think the Catholic Church even really recognizes it. Like, they don't recognize it as authentic, I think.
is all coded for in the original picture that I showed you here, in negative and in positive there. So we have the strange coding of three-dimensional.
A one-of-a-kind genius artist. Yeah, some people think it was Leonardo da Vinci who made this
information. And the face of the man of the shroud starts to become recognizable, clearly recognizable as a human face. Now, the linen cloths again are attested to in the New Testament. This is Joseph of Arimathea, took the body, wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, placed it in his own new tomb that he cut out of the rock. That's in the Gospel. So this linen cloth, and as we'll see, the headcloth as well, is clearly mentioned in the ancient scriptural texts. And again, you've got this fascinating tie-up between the current science and the ancient or the New Testament documentation. It really becomes quite an intriguing object to start to study. I stress I am by no means an expert. I'm merely sharing my current thinking, which is immensely limited, but I just felt I wanted to share my thinking. So the cloth is, the body was wrapped in it longitudinally. So here we see the frontal image, and then the cloth was wrapped over the top of the body, and this is the back of the image. So again, here we clearly see the blood marks from the crown of thorns. The blood has been tested. It is human blood. And we see the scourge marks on the front.
And it's was it like I forget the blood type, but it's that rare blood type.
And we see the scourge marks.
But all the evidence they found, even the pollen, like they found pollen on this thing that dates back, like that's specifically from the area where Jesus was crucified. It's crazy, dude. There's only one piece of evidence, and they took it from one of the burned corners that had been repatched, and that carbon dated it to like 1200 or something. They didn't take it from the center. They took it from a part that had already been fucking fixed because it had been burned. That's the only evidence that points to it being a forgery, and that evidence is it's not reliable.
The excessive scourge marks. These big artifacts here are from the fire. So it was back, I can't remember the precise date, I've got it written down later on, 1590 or something, there was a fire. So those marks there, but fortunately the shroud was rescued. And interesting to note, the image itself, we don't know if the image has become dimmer as a result of the fire, but the image is still clearly discernible with all the encoded negative and three-dimensional information is all still there, clearly visible, despite the fire marks on the linen cloth. Here we see the frontal image. Here we're looking at the negative, so this is what you actually see when you look at the shroud. We see the negative image, and here we see the positive image. What we're looking at here, now it's actually a very difficult topic to study this, because whoever this man on the shroud is, it's definitely a human being on the shroud. It's anatomically perfect. His suffering is beyond imagining.
Yeah, AB. He was AB, just Jacob. That's what his blood type was.
So what we actually see here is we see the scourge marks on the front, going on down onto the legs. We see the scourge marks there in positive on the legs, on the chest, and on the arms, and we actually see the marks here of the nail of crucifixion. We see 4 fingers here. These are blood marks on the arms, and these blood marks are consistent with the body being in a crucifixion position. The pathology here does add up in really quite alarming ways, really. Roman crucifixion was not through the palm of the hand, it was through the wrist. It's hard to think about, but the nail would go through the median nerve. That causes retraction of the thumb. That's why you only see the fingers. Of course, the median nerve is motor and sensory. The suffering that this would generate is completely beyond comprehension. But we see it clearly in the image.
It's like one of the most brutal ways you could ever die. It was so bad, like Romans wouldn't even use it on regular people. Like you had to be a slave. If you were like a Roman citizen, it was illegal to crucify you. You had to be a slave or you had to be like a traitor. It's a really nasty way to die, man.
They're consistent with the Roman practices, and many reconstructions have demonstrated this as well, carried out by innumerable surgeons and pathologists. The shroud is actually the most studied archaeological artifact on the planet. It's just amazing that more people haven't heard about it. Now, so that's the negative, that's the positive of the front. The legs, the lower part of the legs, again, we see the folded arms. The victim is, of course, naked. Crucifixion, Roman crucifixion would have been carried out. The humiliation of the victim was part of the process, whatever you want to call it. Victims would be crucified naked. Here we see the folded hands here, the legs with the scourge marks on the legs. The whole body is scourged with a Roman whip. And we see it there in positive as well. We do see the burn marks from the fire.
It's another good episode.
Again,
of Tucker Carlson, where he has a guy on that talks about the shroud. We can watch that sometime too, because that guy goes into a lot of detail about the crucifixion. Like he has the crown of thorns, and it's not like what you think it is, like just like a little halo that it has. That crown of thorns is nasty, dude. The crown of thorns that they would have used. Maybe we'll watch that on another episode, but I'm telling you, this is so fascinating. I don't know what it is about the Shroud of Turin. This is one of those things that there's very few things that make me start feeling like, oh, maybe this is real. This is one of those things where it's like, that would be smart though, for God to leave some sort of empirical evidence that stands the test of time. Empirical evidence. What am I talking about? I don't even know what words I'm using. Leave some sort of fucking evidence for people 2,000 years later who are like, people lie about a lot of shit. I don't know if I can believe all this stuff I'm reading, but like you have this thing that like science can actually look at and go, whoa, this seems legit. We know Jesus was crucified. There's no doubt about it. Jesus was a real person. He was crucified under Pontius Pilate. So I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of smart of God to leave some sort of nugget that can stand the test of time for us skeptics who are really hard to be convinced. So I don't know what it is. This just fascinates the shit out of me.
We see the strips of linen attested to in the scriptures. This one's from Luke's Gospel. Bending over, he saw the strips of linen lying there by themselves, went away. Some people say, well, there's strips. Why have we only got one strip? There would be other bits
here's the link again.
That tied the shroud together. And we'll see later. There's also a headpiece which has been identified as well. Here we see a bit more detail. These are all from shroudpictures.com. This is the negative from the back. This is the crown of thorns. These are the blood stains, the human blood, in negative and in positive. And again,
oh, you wanted the link to the Tucker one? Okay, yeah. That's probably the one you wanted, right?
Marks, and we also see bruising on.
I don't have it pulled up, but literally go to Tucker Carlson's YouTube page. It's like from a couple days ago. It's not that old.
On the shoulder.
We'll probably react to it on another episode.
That's about in a minute. So high definition pictures available for free download, thankfully, for the photographers who made it freely available. Here we see the full body image in positive. We see the whole body. It's of a young, fit, very physically fit man in very good shape. Young man in good shape. We see it from the front with the scourge marks, and we see it from the back, marks from the crown of thorn, the scourge marks that go down over the buttocks down onto the legs in high contrast negative. I think what the photographers there has actually beefed up the contrast a bit so it's easier to see, but all this information is genuinely there. And as I say, these photos go back to 1978, so we're in a pre-digital age here, but they are professional quality pictures. Now, from the image on the shroud, we see that the man of the shroud has a broken nose, a swollen face. Part of the beard has been plucked out, tearing wounds produced by the scourging, wounds from the crown of thorns, bruises on the shoulder, which we believe, if this is indeed Jesus of Nazareth, from carrying the weight of a cross, again it's consistent, knee injuries from repeated falls, nail wounds from Roman crucifixion, and an oval wound between the 5th and the 6th rib on the right hand side.
I mean, it's insane when you see everything that lines up. Like every injury that he's supposed to have, he has. Even the crown of thorns. And yes, Pontius Pilate. I forgot. I don't remember all. It's not like I haven't memorized the exact wording of it or whatever. But yeah, like didn't he try to fucking say like this man's done nothing wrong or this man's innocent? And like he tried to wash his hands of the blood of Jesus, right? Yep. You know, it's such a crazy story, but I think it's one that's been repeated throughout history where it's like people come up and try to challenge the establishment and the establishment don't like that.
And again, these are the wounds that have been known about from the sufferings of Christ himself. Let's just look at these briefly. So if we take those features there that have been completely demonstrated from the shroud, the broken nose, swollen face. So example, Matthew says they spat on him, they took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. So clear evidence of a head trauma in the ancient New Testament scriptures. Part of the beard plucked out is not mentioned in the New Testament, but it is a prophecy in Isaiah. So we're kind of seeing this long-term historical consistency. Part of the beard pulled out there from the prophecy in Isaiah. Tearing wounds produced by the scourging. This is Pilate had Jesus flogged, so we know that the scourging took place in the gospel accounts. Crown of thorns is clearly attested to again in several scriptures. Bruises on the shoulder. John's Gospel says Jesus carried his own cross to begin with, went to the place of the skull, which in Aramaic is called Golgotha. So he started off carrying the cross, or probably the cross member of the cross rather than the whole cross. And the bruises on the shoulder are there as he would struggle with the weight of that large wooden beam. The injuries have been clearly identified again by the surgeons and pathologists who have examined the image on the shroud. Knee injuries from repeated falls. The Gospels don't talk about this directly, but they do say that so Jesus looked like he started carrying the cross himself, and then someone else carried it for him. A man called Simon of Cyrene had to carry it for him, presumably because of the repeated falls. Although that's putting two and two together, it probably does make for the so help in carrying the cross. Wounds on the right side. When they came to Jesus and found that he was already dead, they didn't break his legs. So it's too horrendous to think about. The Jewish Sabbath, the Passover Sabbath actually, was coming up, and the Jews didn't want people on the cross during that period of time. So what would happen is the Roman authorities would break the legs of the victims. Now, to breathe in the crucifixion position, you can only do so by pushing up through your feet, otherwise you can't breathe out. So if you broke the legs of the victim, the legs would be biomechanically inactive. The victim would no longer be able to push up to be able to breathe, and they would asphyxiate, which I assume would be considered a merciful thing to do. It's quite horrendous beyond description. But with Jesus, they didn't. He had this wound in his side. Now, the wound in his...
doesn't sound very merciful to me, dude. I mean, I guess, because, yeah, your instinct would be to just keep doing whatever you could to breathe. And if like picking yourself up is going to allow you to breathe and live longer, you're just increasing the length of torture, but then your instinct is to do that. So like, I don't know, I guess it's merciful. What would be merciful is just to not crucify somebody in the first place, Like we think guns are so terrible, but that would be mercy right there. A good old gun violence death, as opposed to this.
This side does seem to
Terrible.
be consistent with Roman military training, that to kill people, it's a
Yeah, Rabbit's Dynamite. I heard Mel Gibson was working on a sequel. I don't know what the sequel is going to be. I guess this is going to be dealing with his resurrection and the 40 days that he, was on the earth as resurrected. I don't know.
the way that the Romans inflicted a wound. It would go from the right side.
Or maybe it's going to be a badass action film where like Jesus resurrects from the dead and gets revenge. He just like, starts fucking up all the people, gets the Pharisees and like hunts them down. Becomes like a Quentin Tarantino film.
Through to the heart, and there's evidence that did in fact happen from the pulmonary edema and the pleural fluid that came out. That's when it talks about water and blood coming out from the wound. Again, completely consistent with
Barabbas, right? Drift Wizard says they let one of them go. Yeah, the crowd really wanted Jesus to be crucified. They demanded it, and they let Barabbas. Was it Barabbas? Is that the name? They let Barabbas go instead of Jesus. And what was Barabbas's crime? I forgot what he did wrong.
The pathology as a result of the trauma that had been.
I might be getting the name wrong. Barabbas, I think, or something like that.
So it looks like a standard Roman wound. Military have this. If you want to, I talked to someone who was in British Special Forces or whatever, some rum group in the army, and they're taught specific ways to kill people. Simple as that. So this appears to be a standard Roman way to make sure that someone was dead.
He was a murderer? Okay, yeah. Thank you, guys. I couldn't remember.
Wound in the right side. Again, it is clearly there on the shroud. Now, the linen cloth itself is interesting, of course. Let's look at that somewhat now as well. This is a 35mm colour transparency. 32 times magnification, and this is the weave, so the plain shroud cloth where there is no blood or image. So this is the shroud photographed from the 1978 team, and this is an area of the shroud from the nose actually. The yellow fibres are the building block of the image, so we can see here that there's these fibres. Now this is the big linen fibre, and this is the smaller fibrils or whatever that make it up. And this darker bit, so if we just look back, so that's what it looked like without the image. That's an area without the image. And this is an area with the image. And the image is just this very superficial area, this decoloured area on top. And it's very, very narrow. The yellowed fibres run only between, they're a microburn between 250 nanometers. So this is very superficial. So 0.2 to 0.5 of a micrometer in thickness, the burning here. And of course, no one knows how this image was produced.
Yeah, good point, CWG. Favoring criminals. Some things never change. Yep. Good point, man.
I mean, a big part of the 1978, the STURP team, the Shroud of Turin research project team, was working out how this image was created, and they expected to go and look at.
The sky turning dark isn't in every. I think is that in John's? Because like in Mark's, it's like doesn't have a lot of details. That's the thing about like you got different kind of variations of the story depending on which gospel you're reading.
And find the paint marks from Leonardo da Vinci's brush or whatever, and say it's a painting. There, forget it. And if that had been the case, that we would have forgotten it.
Definitely not a painting.
These markings here constitute a remarkably totally anatomically accurate image of this young man, of the shroud, with the clear pathological evidence of the torture and the execution that was used, and it's just marked by these very superficial image, and no one knows how this image got there. Now, people do talk about it. It does appear to be some kind of the main theory is it's some kind of radiation effect. That there was an episode of radiation exposure.
It was supposed to be such a massive light, such a powerful light that there's like no way to create it at that time. That's what one of the other guys I was listening to was talking about it. Like, I forgot the amount of power you would have needed to create a light that powerful to leave that sort of it's just crazy. Like, you would think with today's modern technology, we would be able to figure out how they made this thing if it was fake.
That was very intense, but very, very short. And of course, there's been thousands, millions of shrouds in our history, but this is the only one.
Someone was saying about an earthquake. This is the Bible, specifically the Gospel of Matthew, describes an earthquake occurring at the moment of Jesus' death on the cross, along with other events like the tearing of the temple veil and tombs opening. Yeah. But it does say seismology as a science didn't exist then, and ancient records of earthquakes in the region, such as those in Roman or Jewish histories, don't specifically tie one to this event. The Dead Sea Fault System, which runs near Jerusalem, is known for seismic activity. No definitive geological evidence like fault ruptures or sediment disturbances dated precisely to that year have been found to corroborate the gospel account.
One with an image on it.
Take that for what you want.
I'm afraid I've seen a lot of shrouds, and you don't see images on it. I did see an image, a death image once. A patient had died, and the bile had leaked out of a wound, and they had the hand underneath them, between themselves and the mattress, and the bile had left like this perfect handprint. It was really quite eerie, perfect handprint in bile, but that was just the handprint, just in bile, on the mattress. It was really quite strange to see. But that's the only thing I've seen in my entire career, and of course, there is no whole body images. This is a unique, completely unique image, and this is how it's generated. Remarkably thin, superficial burning. So 0.2 to 0.5 of a micrometer, and of course there's 1,000 micrometers in a millimeter, and you know how big a millimeter is. So if you follow one of these fibers until it dips below the next thread, then that fiber becomes white. In other words, it's just the superficial fibers that would have been facing the body that have been burnt or discoloured in this way. No explanation. Many people have tried to duplicate the image and with modern technology and failed to do so. So the idea that this could be a forgery using medieval technology is not really a conscionable theory, because we can't duplicate it now with clever laser beams and all that kind of stuff. That a medieval forger or earlier forger could have done this is not.
Yeah, so it says this about the Catholic Church and the shroud. The Catholic Church does not have an official stance on the authenticity of the Shroud of Turin as the burial cloth of Jesus. It neither endorses nor denies its authenticity, leaving the matter open to personal belief and scientific investigation. The Church permits veneration of the shroud as a sacred image or icon that can inspire faith regardless of its historical authenticity. Popes, including John Paul II, Benedict XVI, and Francis, have referred to the shroud as a sign or icon of Christ's suffering, avoiding definitive claims about its origin. The Church encourages its use for devotion, but maintains that it's not a required article of faith. If you'd like, yeah, okay.
Really a credible. I don't see that as a credible view. That's why I lean strongly towards this being a genuine artifact. Now, this is an area on the chest wound where there's blood. So it's yellowed from the serum. So as you know, blood is red cells in serum, and this has got human serum in it, like a halo effect. So there's the red blood cells, and then there's the halo effect of the serum round about it, as you get with any blood spillage, in fact. So the red rust-coloured blood. So the blood is still somewhat red, and the reason that the blood is still somewhat red appears to be because it's very high in bilirubin, a pigment that will stay red, in this case presumably for 2,000 years. As a result of the trauma, there would be breakup of red blood cells. So the blood of the traumatized person of the shroud would have been remained red, whereas ordinary blood would fade because of the history of the torture and trauma. The blood is positive for hemoglobin and human albumin, so definitely human blood. Something called S-positive antigens only occur in human blood.
Somebody said in order to fake this, you would have had to actually kill somebody. Somebody would have had to actually have died, and you would have had to have actually like recreated like somebody's death. It's like, so it has to be a real body, and like it's not just it's not just art, dude.
And I haven't worked this out entirely, but some workers seem pretty confident the blood group is AB. But I don't know enough to comment on that at the moment.
That's what I heard too.
You know, the shroud is like an Encyclopedia Britannica, and I've just opened the dust cover. Really, there's so much to it. But I'm just giving enough to make it. Hopefully that you find this. Well, I don't know. Interesting seems a bit of a inadequate word. Anyway,
I find it interesting, bro.
So definitely human blood. We can be definitive about that on the shroud. Now, we mentioned before that the shroud contains...
Dude, I mean, they were whipping the hell out of them. Somebody showed like what they were using, and like they put like these like lead balls at the end of it. So it's not just like a normal whip that you think of like an Indiana Jones whip. It's like a whip with like that has like multiple tentacles with lead balls at the end. Ugh. Yeah, they didn't miss a spot on them, dude.
3-dimensional information from the front and from the back. So what people have done in recent years is they've taken that 3-dimensional information and they've used that to generate I think, I'm not sure, it might actually be a 3D printout, but they certainly generated a whole body, a statue from that, based entirely on the 3-dimensional information.
Is that what it's called? Cat of Nine Tails? Yeah, the dude on the Tucker Carlson, he had like an example. He even had the spear that they would have used, the crown of thorns, what he was scourged with. Like, he had everything.
On the shroud itself. And this is what we get from that. So we know that the spatial data eliminates photography and painting. And the posture is that of the deceased in rigor mortis. So this body is in rigor mortis. It has the stiffness of death. It's in rigor mortis. And why is it in this position? Well, it was taken from the crucifixion position. So the arms have been moved down, but we can see that the weight of the body would be slumped on the legs. So the legs are bent, slumped on the bottom nail. And we can see that the head would be hanging down because the body was dead, and the head it almost looks like it's got
What's
a pillow.
The Shroud of Turin?
Not at all. It's because the head was hanging down and the body went stiff while it was still on the cross, and we get this this position again, all encoded for by the 3-dimensional information on the shroud, and all.
Yeah, this is he calls it a flagrum.
Overlooked, understated passages in all the Bible, and Pilate had Jesus flogged. And if we read that too quickly, we just don't understand the impact of it. And that's why I've brought these artifacts for you. I want you to, this is a flagrum that we had commissioned. I want you to hold this, Tucker, and I want you to get it in your hand.
So flagrum.
This is a flagrum.
Okay, so this is a wooden dowel with 3 rawhide lines coming off it and lead balls on the end.
Right. And I have 2 of them.
There's a link to this one.
Because we know from the crucified man that there were 2 torturers. So Jesus is being whipped simultaneously by 2 different executioners.
So the purpose of the lead balls on the end of the rawhide is
to inflict as much torment as possible. And so sometimes you would have flagrums with bone ends, but there are all these barbell shapes on the hash marks of the crucified man, which leads me to believe that it was used in something just like this. So this is, again, a 1-to-1 flagrum that the Romans would use.
So if you hit someone with a length of rawhide and a piece of lead balls at the end. I mean, you kill someone with that.
Right. And this is where Jesus loses 1/3 of his blood volume. And I want you to understand something for the benefit of our audience. Notice how short this is. I mean, this is not like an Indiana Jones whip, right? I mean, there was a demonic intimacy to this torment. And the blood of Jesus would have been splattered all over the executioners.
You know, people, when they watched Mel Gibson's film, like, man, this is so fucking brutal. This is like, it's seeming like it was pretty accurate, a pretty accurate depiction. It was hard to watch, man. It was hard for me to watch. I was like, dude, this is like I don't know, it's a little torturous, bro.
Completely anatomically.
Just watching it is difficult. Imagine having to live through it.
Pathologically, albeit horrifically beyond
Play
description, accurate. And we see the scourge marks on the body, more of which later on. So that is the three-dimensional reconstruction based on the three-dimensional data on the shroud, encoded in the shroud. Now, a lot of these this information came from this study here. This is the Shroud of Turin research project in 1978, when they had a lot of access. There's a group of scientists, leading scientists from around the world. There has been quite a bit of science done since then, but that was the last time there was large-scale access. So I really hope the Catholic Church decides to allow more access, because there's so many scientific...
They never do, but they really should, man. They really should.
Experiments.
I mean, if this is something that can prove that, you know, we already know Jesus lived, we know he was resurrected, but we can prove it in the shroud, and then if science can understand how the image was left on the shroud, I think that'd be big. That'd be big, because it looks like we might have actual evidence of some sort of resurrection if it's real.
We know about now that could be done non-destructively without damaging the cloth. But this big study in 78. So no pigments, dyes, or stains have been found on the fibrils. So it's not a painting. X-ray fluorescence and microchemistry on the fibrils precludes the possibility of paint being used as a method for creating the image. So we know it's not a painted image. Ultraviolet and infrared evaluation confirms these studies. Computer images enhance the analysis by a device known as the VPA image analyzer, shows that the image has a unique three-dimensional information encoded in it. Microchemical evaluation has indicated no evidence of any spices, oils, or biochemicals known to be produced by the body in life or in death. So they're saying that they're fairly confident the image does not come from things that were done to the body or things that happened to the body after death. It is clear there's been direct contact of the shroud with a body. So whoever body this was is definitely a real body. This type of contact might explain some of the features of the torso. It is totally incapable of explaining the image of the face, with the high resolution that has been amply demonstrated by photography. So again, they're basically saying that this can't be explained by these things have been postulated as the way the image got there. Experiments in physics and chemistry with old linen have failed to reproduce adequately the phenomena represented by the Shroud of Turin, and this is still true today. No one's been able to duplicate the way that this image is generated, even now in 2024. There are no chemical or physical methods known which can account for the totality of the image, nor can any combination of physical, chemical, biological, or medical circumstances explain the image adequately, and that remains true today. This image is a total enigma. It appears to be produced by a very short flash of high intensity light radiation. Or if there was another way it was produced, it still hasn't been elucidated and can't be replicated today, which of course is part of the allure of the shroud. Just how did this image get there? Thus the answer to the question of how the image was produced or what produced the image remains, now as in the past, a mystery. We don't know. And then a quick summary of the Stirp's conclusions. We can conclude for now that the shroud image is that of a real human form of a scourged, crucified man. So whoever this man was, he did definitely suffer these anatomically accurate, pathologically correct torture procedures.
I think this, let me pull this up. Where did this go? Find it. This guy goes into a little more detail about how it was created. Let me find the part. Let's see.
That
Yeah,
look
this is
just
it.
like the image of the face of the man
I've
of the
seen
shroud.
them. Yes.
So, like, what are all these people looking at if the shroud was invented, like the liberal scientists want us to believe and the liberal Bible scholars who are apostate, in the 14th century?
So that's the claim.
The claim is based on one fact, the carbon dating of 1988 that you brought up. 1260 to 1390 is what they wrote on the chalkboard in October of 1988, that the carbon dating said.
So
that
let's
this was
get
a
into that
medieval
in some
forgery.
detail, if
Absolutely.
you don't mind.
I would
Okay.
love to.
Yeah, there's a crown of thorns right there, dude. Like, that's not. I think, did Mel Gibson get it right? I think Mel Gibson got it right, right?
The
But yeah,
carbon
a lot of the depictions, it's like
60
a,
to
like a little
1390 is
halo.
what they wrote on the chalkboard.
This thing is nasty, dude. This crown of thorns. So when he first pulls it out, yeah. Like, just getting that slammed into over your head, it's just like nasty, dude.
They seem to have the same.
He talks. I don't know what part of it is. I don't want to search for it, but he talks more about like the actual science behind how the image was put onto the shroud. And I think like 40 megawatt. I forgot, dude, the exact amount of energy it would take to produce a light that quick. I mean, that powerful. And just they didn't have the technology at that time to do it, and we clearly still don't. So I don't know, man. This is one of those things that makes me kind of want to believe. It makes me kind of want to believe. I wish we had, I don't know. Like I said, I wish I could go back in time and just be a watcher and just watch the events play out. Because the Jesus story on the face, even without the miracles, it's a great story. It's a powerful story. But if the miracles are real, I mean, and this seems to be actual scientific evidence of one of the miracles that somehow still exists 2,000 years later. Kind of mind-blowing to me. But once again, go watch this. I'm going to call it. It's already been over 2 hours. I'm going to go ahead and call it. And in the chat, I'm going to post the link again to the Tucker one. If you guys haven't seen this, it really is good. I watched this whole episode. It went by so fast, dude, because I'm so fascinated by this shit. It was just like, it was fun. It's a good episode. Go watch it. Whenever you want. But thank you guys. It's been a fun episode. Hope everybody's doing good. You guys enjoy the show? Huh? Everybody in the chat? You guys awake? I put you all to sleep? Did you all fall asleep on me? Who puts it on though? If they do wear, yeah, probably the people who are flogging them, and I don't know who puts it on, but if you're talking about the crown of thorns, was like, eesh, that's it's not some little fucking thing that they no, dude. This is a nasty piece of work over here, dude. This is a very nasty piece of work. Why waste time dating an element like carbon? Yeah, a lot of people think carbon dating is just total bullshit. You're welcome, Cold C. What are we talking to John McCarter? John McCarter, he said he unblocked you 5 times. Will reset YouTube. I don't know how it works, but like when I block people on like my end, you don't see them anymore, right? So then you can't unblock them in the chat. You got to go into where your list of blocked people are to unblock them. So I don't know how you would unblock him, Colt. See, if you blocked him, you don't see his name in the chat anymore, so you can't actually, see his comments to like hit the 3 dots and then unblock him. So I don't know. I'm confused. Sounds like you got a dilemma on your hands, man. But maybe it was meant to be, Coltsy. Maybe you and John were just not meant to be, dude. Maybe this is what God wanted, dude. God wanted you to block John, No ways, homie. No ways. What are we talking about here, homie? Well, thank you, the Rabbit's Dynamite.
That
Thank you,
Rabbit's Dynamite super chatted $10. Great content, ping, GN all.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Thank you for the super chat, brother. SP, yeah, thank you as well. I deserve a big audience. Well, you know, I'll take what I get. I might at some point move this over to my second channel because there's a big, almost like an anchor that weighs down this channel, and most of it is just like it's not good to mix the type of content you do. It's just not. So I don't know. I'm gonna probably experiment at some point and try to do some streams on a second channel. Because I see these brand new channels that pop up and they're already doing more numbers than me. And I'm like, dude, the guy's got like 1,000 subscribers. He's already doing more numbers than me. And I think what it is like, there's just so much negative reinforcement from most of my audience, right? Because like I have 200 and whatever thousand subscribers. A tiny amount of them are going to give this a chance. And because it's not the way YouTube does it, your content gets pushed through your subscribers first before it gets pushed to other people. And if my subscribers are fucking constantly shitting on my shit, it's not going to get out to people. So, but yeah, it is what it is. I could also just always stream to a small audience, like whatever, dude. You know, I can't control that. I could try to do the best show I can. And the rest is, you know, out of my hands. And like you guys support the show. You all send super chats. I don't make a fucking killing of a living doing this, but I make enough that I can do it. So what's there to complain about? At the end of the day, if I have an audience that likes the show and it's big enough that the show can be supported, then, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the numbers, you know. It's weird. It's weird trying to understand all that. That's why I try not to worry too much about it. I just do my thing. But thank you guys. Much appreciated. Had fun. Fun show. I'm going to say we'll be back tomorrow. You know, I should be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow unless something comes up. Okay. If something comes up, you guys want me to just promise to do a show even if I have like nothing to talk about? Is that what you guys want? You want me to do a show even if there's like nothing interesting to talk about? And then we just hang out? Because I could do shows like that. But then the numbers will be even lower, guys. You think the numbers are bad? Wait till I don't have anything to talk about. We'll see how bad the numbers get then. Anyway, thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Have a wonderful night. John, shout out to John. Hope John's doing good. I did nothing wrong, Cold Sea, Drift Wizard. You're a good boy, John. You did nothing wrong, brother. Thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great night, okay? Peace out.
Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Here's some other videos to watch that you might like or you might not. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notification.